Right, this is going to sound controversial, but you have to hear this. NRIs, stop putting your money in fixed deposit in India. Yes, you heard that right. I know your parents and relatives all tell you that this is the most safe and secure way to save your money and earn interest. But nobody is telling this to the NRIs. Fixed deposits are the worst possible way to save your money and earn interest. Stick around for 10 minutes and I'll show you 4 alternative ways of saving your money, earning interest, and pay less in tax as well. And at the end, you'll be in a position to grow your wealth. So let's break it down like a few friends over a cup of coffee. And I'll tell you why this old strategy of fixed deposit does not fit in our global world anymore. The world has changed, the inflation has changed, the tax and regulations have changed from the 1990s. So we need to update ourselves to the current ideas in terms of what is available out there for someone like you and me in terms of how we can improve our financial stand. Fixed deposit is not one of the ways to do it. So let's talk about why FDs are so bad. First of all, when it comes to an NRI perspective, you're earning in a stronger currency, but you're actually investing in a weaker currency. That is the big red flag right there. So all the NRIs who live in Canada, US or Gulf countries, you all earn money in a very strong currency. And what you tend to do is you take that strong currency and convert it into a weaker currency. And assuming that, when you look at the interest rate that has been offered on a fixed deposit, it kind of looks like it is really good. And when you think in your own working country, you just realize that they only pay you somewhere about 4% here in the UK. And when you compare that to 6 and 7% in India, it looks very enticing. But don't actually fall for that number. Historically, Indian currency has been falling 4 to 5% year on year. And then you factor in the inflation in India, which is roughly around 6 to 7%. Now, when you factor both of these things in together, you're actually making a loss at times, or you're making a return of 1 to 2%. Now, ask yourself that question. Are you happy with 1 to 2%? And one of the things that many NRIs don't realize, which I also personally have felt it, is sometimes when you are investing your fixed deposit, you tend to do that from your NRO account, which is an ordinary account. And that is taxed heavily unless you actually invest it through NRE account. That's when you start paying taxes based on where you're paying taxes in your currency that you're earning your income. But sometimes the banks don't actually tell you when they convert your account into an NRO account. You probably realize that your account has been converted into an NRO account well past, say, about 2 or 3 years. By then, the damage has already been done. So if you're earning 6 to 7% interest and then paying 10 to 12% or 20% taxes, that just wipes off whatever gains you've made. So at that point in time, fixed deposit is basically you giving free money to the bank, and they take that money and lend it to some person who's desperate for cash on a very high interest rate. So think about it. Is that the right approach? And coming to the inflation, if the inflation in India is between 6 and 7%, and your FD gives you 6% or 6.8%, which I have seen quite a lot of the banks which are offering currently, then in real term, you're not actually making any returns at all. And the worst part is when it comes to withdrawing your money and then thinking that you're going to repatriate and send it back to your country of earning, then the currency plays a major role, taxes play a major role. So when you factor in all of those things, by the time the money gets to your country where you're currently working, it has no value at all. So you're basically sometimes even losing a lot of money. And then there is a constant headache. Every time a budget report comes in, there is massive changes. You have constantly changing taxation. There is FATCA changes. There's double taxation, currency devaluation. Would you really want to go through all of those headaches and also converting your strong currency denomination into a weaker currency and putting it away in a fixed deposit? At that point in time, fixed deposit, according to me, is no longer an investment idea. It's purely you giving your money to the bank for free to hold on to it, just because you're psychologically thinking, oh God, what if my money is sitting there and doing nothing? Your brain is tricked to think that, putting it away in a fixed deposit and earning 6% is guaranteed and risk-free. We need to come out of that mindset. The world has changed and it's moved on, and we need to improve or get better at the way we handle our money. One of the subscribers actually emailed me about his story. So he invested £10,000 in India on a fixed deposit for 5 years. And after 5 years, when he moved it to the UK, it was somewhere close to £9,200 in real world spending. So in short, what he felt was he had the double whammy of taxation, currency devaluation, and all of these things factored into his otherwise what he thought was growing money. In reality, when the money came back after 5 years of sitting in India, it was valued at £9,200. He lost almost £800 just by putting it away for 5 years. And this is extremely common. Not many people actually realize when they actually start doing this kind of an investment. They only realize it well past the time, which is sometimes 5 years. That's a long period of time of absolutely not making any return. Instead, there are alternative solutions that can help you stick with that kind of investment and make profit, and at the same time keep that money in that stronger currency as well. Right, enough about all the problems. Let's talk some solutions and alternative options that you can think of. Out here in the UK, there are plenty of banks that are currently offering interest rate between 4.5% to 5%. You have Moneybox, which also allows you to save money into that account, which gives you roughly between 4 and 5%. So you might want to consider that. And then there is NRI bonds that you can invest your money into. Now, at this point in time, you're matching the same interest rate that you get in a fixed deposit back in India, and you're getting that in the UK. And the best part is all your money is sitting in a very strong currency, which is invested or saved up in the UK itself. So, and this is the best part is you can actually withdraw this at any given point in time. So let's assume that there is some sort of an emergency and you want to be able to withdraw your money. You're absolutely able to do that immediately, and you're not locked into any kind of a period wherein you have to stay with them for, say, 6 months or 3 months or 1 year to actually earn that kind of money. In case of emergency, you absolutely can withdraw your money from this account and send it to wherever the emergency is. Then there is option 2. I consider this as a superpower option. This one is called Stocks and Shares ISA account. This particular account allows you to deposit up to £20,000. When you do this with the likes of Trading 212, it gives you up to 4.05% interest rate on your savings, which you haven't invested in it. So the best part is, whatever you earn from this, whatever capital gains that you make from this specific account, this is completely tax-free. You're not paying a penny to the government. If you make any sort of profit, let's say you've invested some money for 3 months and all of a sudden your markets have performed really well, your investment has grown by 10%, and you seem like you have an emergency. At that point in time, you are in a good hand. You can actually take that money and withdraw that money and utilize for the things that's most required for. And the other alternative, not the alternative, I would like to say, the other option is, if you've got more than £20,000 and you're married, your wife can actually open the same Stocks and Shares ISA account and deposit £20,000 completely tax-free. There you go. There you have more better option than just sending your money, converting your pounds or dollars or euros into a weaker currency, expecting it to grow. One of the ways I remember this is ISA is greater than fixed deposit. It wins every single time. For the folks in the US, you have plenty of options. You have high yield savings account, 401k, Roth IRA, and then you have treasury bonds as well. So you can consider all of those things, and you're still saving your money in the local currency, which is the dollar, and you're still earning interest in dollars as well. These options grow your money in stronger currency without the worry about the constant change of rules and regulations or taxations that's taking place in India. Option 4 is investing in ETF, and this is specifically useful if you've got some funds and if you want to hold on to it for a longer period of time and you're happy to invest it and ride the market trend in case of any fluctuations. And remember, this particular investment option that I'm just about to talk to you, this is something that you will make money if you stay consistent and stay invested for a long duration of time. When I say long duration of time, I'm talking about somewhere between 5 to 10 years. And if you can stay longer, that's even fantastic. So if you can stay between 10, 20 years, I guarantee you'll never make a loss. The stock market has always performed really well. Every 2-3 years, there is a little minor blips here and there. Every time when there is a minor blips, consider that as an opportunity for you to buy something on a discount. And that's how I would consider that. And every time I see a market falling, say 10%, I go jump in and think that this is on a sale at the moment. So it's like an iPhone suddenly that's been released and it's actually on a discount for like £400 or $400. The normal mindset of every individual is to actually go out and buy something on a cheaper. When it comes to stock, everybody gets panicked and starts withdrawing their money. Never go do that. And this particular option, which is an ETF, allows you to maximize your opportunity when you see one. In the UK, we have Vanguard, FTSE, or All World Index. You have HSBC funds. There is S&P 500 ETF. There is emerging market ETFs. I'll add all of in the description below so you can check it out. And in the future video, I will cover them individually so you can actually get a better understanding of these funds and where they are invested in. When it comes to the US, you have VOO, VTI, then QQQ. That's basically investing into tech industries like the likes of Tesla, Nvidia. You have Facebook, all of the tech firms, and that particular ETF covers that sector. Investing into these ETFs builds you long-term wealth. When you consider the long-term wealth, I mean, if we go back into the previous example of one of the subscriber mentioning he stayed invested for 5 years. So if you had invested for 5 years in any of these ETFs, you would have surely made money, especially after Trump tariff or COVID or any kind of financial turmoils. If you have ride through those and still stayed consistent and invested in your ETF, you would have definitely made money. And these investment would have given you a substantial return well and above your fixed deposit in India. This is the only time I would recommend you to invest into fixed deposit. I wouldn't say fixed deposits is the worst possible idea, but if you work and understand how your spendings are going to be, then sometimes you can actually utilize fixed deposit as an option. Remember, it's an option only. It's not a go-to place for you to store your money. So here are the ways I would look at it. If I am sending some money to my parents, then I would park some fund into this fixed deposit, and every 3 months or a year I keep renewing it. So I get some return, but all of these money that I actually get it, or all of the monies that I make from this, is then directly utilized in India itself for our parents. And if I have some funds left and I want to keep it as an emergency for any medical expenses or a wedding or a presents for your cousins and all of those things that you want to buy from the Indian market itself, that money I would park it in an NRI fixed deposit option. Make sure you use NRI fixed deposit, not the NRO. So do this fixed deposit using your NRI account and use it for all of these purposes only, and nothing more than that. FDs are the weakest option for long-term wealth creation, and it is specifically applies to NRIs and all the South Asians or Asian community that is living abroad. It's not an option for you guys to put your money away. Here's a simple truth. NRIs don't lose money because they're bad with money. They lose money because they're using an old strategy in the new era where there is so many options that are easily available. You can read plenty of articles which talks about investment ideas that are available. And there are so many different ways you can actually make money and save money and earn interest out of that. So just don't leave your money in a current account or savings account. Make it work. Let it do the hard lifting for you so your future gets better. FDs worked in the past, but it doesn't work for the current NRIs, and especially in this global world where things can be purchased with a click of a mouse, and it is available for you to view constantly on your mobile phone, and you can track exactly how much money you've made, how much you're going to make, and how the historical performance are. So if we've got so much technology in front of us and so many data that you can look at it and then analyze and make your decision, then why would you go to something which has worked for our parents back in the day when all these technologies never existed? But if you ask your parents, and if you make them sit down right now and give them all of these options, I'll tell you 9 out of 10 times your parents would actually pick the current option. Then why are we wasting our time in a fixed deposit? I'm Wilf. If you found this useful, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me get motivated and make more content specifically for NRIs and in terms of money aspect. I started this channel to help people to understand how easy it is for every general person, every human being to actually save money and build a financial freedom. So if you found this useful, please do share it with your friends. Hit that like button and comment below what you would like me to cover in terms of NRI perspective. See you in the next one.